My mom used to always tell me, leave your money in the bank and it'll grow interest. What? Huh? I thought I turned this off. Hello? It's the 80s. Oh, they want their interest rate back. So if you've ever wondered how interest rate works, both with your banks and the credit card, today's your lucky day. We're going to do a deep dive into not only how interest works, but especially how compound interest works, how it affects your investments, how it affects your debt, and all of that. This is not investment advice, but fair warning, there's going to be a lot of mathing going on in today's episode. Stay tuned. So what actually is interest? Interest could be one of two things that are really the same thing. It could be the cost of borrowing money. You borrow money, your lender charges you interest. So a little fee on top to pay them for the money that they're lending you. Or it could be the money you get back because you've invested money and they're going to give you a return. So it's either the cost of borrowing or the return you get back from investment. Simple interest. The definition of simple interest is that you can take an example of $10,000 at 1% interest, and normally it's paid per year when we see these figures. It's $100. Pretty easy concept. Most banks, they'll show you a yearly interest, but they pay it out monthly. And what that means is you take that same example of $10,000 at 1% interest equals $100, and you divide that by 12 months in the year. You're going to get $8.33 interest for that month based on 1% per year. So your new balance is, at the end of that month is $10,008.33. So let's hold on to that. $10,008.33. What's compound interest? So simple interest, we reviewed that. Compound interest is, or as Albert Einstein kind of said, is that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And why is that? Because compound interest means that you're actually going to earn interest, or if it's debt, pay interest on top of the interest. So if we were to put that $10,000 into the bank at the end of January, we'd have $8.33 in interest. So we now have a new balance of $10,008.33. The 1% per year divided by 12 is going to be applied on the $10,008.33. So it's interest on top of the interest that you've already earned. We see that in February, we're going to get $8.34 in interest, and we want to add that to the existing $10,008.33. So in March, our new balance is $10,016.67. We're going to apply that same 1% interest to that figure, and we're going to get $8.35. We add that, and then we're going to rinse and repeat all the way through the month. So in April, we're going to have a balance of $10,025.02, and when we put interest on that, that's going to be $8.35. And then we rinse and repeat all the way through May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Now, interestingly enough, when you add up all of the interest paid throughout the month, we get to $100.46. Now that's 46 cents more than what we had calculated on the simple interest. that 46 cents is interest on top of the interest you've already received. Now, 46 cents is really small, but that's just an example, because over time it compounds and it's more and more and more. So let's make this easy. Have you ever heard of the rule of 72? It's a financial heuristic, which means it's a rule of thumb. And I probably didn't even pronounce that right, but that's fine. It's designed to make an approximation so you can calculate compound interest a little bit better and a little bit faster. Specifically, it tells you how long it's going to take for your money to double at a specified interest rate. It was originally attributed to a mathematician in the 1492 book Summa di Aritmetica by Luigi Pacioli. Being Italian, I'm pretty positive I butchered that name as well. But regardless, basically what the rule of 72 is you take 72 divided by the interest rate will give you the time it's going to take your money to double. Now, the actual official mathematical formula for compound interest is this right here. The answer is no, I'm not even bothering. Let's stick to the rule of 72. It's much easier, it's much faster. Most people that are in finances will know the rule of 72, and that's how we explain how money works to our clients and customers. So let's take a look at this incredibly busy chart here. The current example is 72 divided by 1 is 72 years. That means if a person at age 20 invests $10,000, by age 92, 72 years later, their $10,000 will have grown to $20,000. That's not a great investment strategy. So if we can find an investment, normally you can probably get a high interest savings account or a few other, I know Coho gives 2% interest on their essentials package. I believe EB Bank gives, I think, 2 to 2.5% interest. So there are options out there that will provide 2% interest on whatever balance your money has. So 72 divided by 2, that's 36 years, slightly better. So at age 20, by the time you're 56, your $10,000 will become $20,000. By the time you're 92, your $20,000 becomes $40,000. So we've done well. We've doubled twice, which is great. Now, if we can get that money into something like a 4%, and there are 4%, you can get GICs, GIAs, things like that that will pay out roughly 4% right now, 3.9, some of them. So at 4%, to make math easy, 72 divided by 4 is 18 years. So in 18 years, your money will double. So the same thing, someone at age 20 puts in $10,000 at 4%. By the time they're 38, the money doubles to $20,000. By the time they're 56, the money doubles to $40,000. By the time they're 74, doubles to 80. By the time they're 92, their money doubles to $160,000. Now, we're getting somewhere. Now we're in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But let's say you decide you're going to work with your financial advisor. You get something a little bit better, maybe at 8%, something that's, maybe a mutual fund, a segregated fund, something that's going to pay out at around 8%. That means your money's going to double every 9 years. So at age 20, that same $10,000 will be $20,000 by age 29. By age 38, 40, by age 47, and so on. And so on, and so on. At 8%, by the time you do get to 92 years of age, you will have approximately 2.5 million. I don't know about you. I can't wait to be 92 to get 2.5 million. So I want my investments to be aggressive. So as soon as you start passing the 10% rate of return with some investments, well, 10%, 72 divided by 10, is 7.2 years. Now your money's doubling every 7.2 years. At 12%, your money doubles every 6 years, and so on, and so on. So let's have a practical example. I love my stories, and this is the story about Mikey Meatball. Meatball, this is going out to you. Shout out. I love you, buddy. And Vinny Veal, based on an almost made-up person. Almost. So both Mikey and Vinny were given the same advice. Invest a little more than $200 per month. Let's round that up to $2,500 per year. At about 5%, which is going to be pretty easy to get a product that's going to pay out 5%. And invest it for 25 years. So Mikey, being the one that listens to what he's being told, loves to be able to learn, takes his learning, internalizes it. He starts investing at age 30. So he takes $2,500, invests it at 5% interest for the next 25 years. So in total, he'll have $62,500. Vinny Veal, who is the ultimate partier, was always going to the bars. He really needed to party a little bit more. He spent a little bit of 10 years, buying cars, touring. He went on a couple of trips, and he really wasn't thinking about his financial future. But 10 years after Mikey Meatball, he realized, I better start putting some money aside. So he remembered that advice. And he too started putting away $2,500 a year. And he did that starting at age 40 for 25 years. So 25 years after age 40 is 65, age 65. So both Mikey and Vinny both were able to put away $62,500. The big difference is that Mikey Meatball started investing 10 years early, stopped at age 55, and then never invested anymore. Vinny started at age 40 and kept investing until age 65. The big difference is that Mikey Meatball has now $204,074 accumulated, whereas Vinny, being 10 years behind, only has $125,284. That's over a $78,000 difference of 10 years sitting, earning interest. So the moral of this story is you want to start as early as you can. Compound interest and time is your best friend. Now here's what I want everyone to watch out for, is that the rule of 72 in compound interest works the other way around, especially when we start talking about credit and credit cards. Most credit cards charge anywhere between 20% and 26% interest. I mean, I've even heard of cards that charge up to 30% for high-risk clients. So at 20% interest, that means your debt is going to double every 3.6 years. So every 3.6 years, a $10,000 debt in 3 years becomes 20. In 6 years becomes 40. And it's a wealth stealer. It really digs into your wealth when you use high interest credit cards instead of a line of credit or paying for it in cash. Credit cards are wealth killers. It's important because that's how money really works. If you're like me and you learned about all of this later in life, don't worry. It's not too late. The important thing is that you start investing. You become cognizant of the interest and the return you're getting. You're paying down your debt. You're making smarter decisions when it comes to your investing, how you're investing, and who's helping you invest. And you make it with intention. And your intention is being out of debt and building wealth. If you know how interest works, you will then understand the secrets that the wealthy understand. It will build you more and more and more. Wealth builds wealth when it comes to compound interest. So whether you're investing your first $10,000 or $5,000, or you're paying down your last few $1,000s of debt, this is going to be key to anybody's financial recovery. If you're still not sure how savings work and how your investments are working for you, this is the kind of conversation you should be having with the financial advisor So feel free to reach out to your financial advisor, or feel free to reach out to me. I'll gladly walk you through it. This is so important to your financial future. So that's it from me today. It's not as long as our last video. Thank goodness. It was a long one last time. You guys know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Oh, I think there's somewhere up there. Hit the like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Hit that bell so you know when a new video comes out. So if you already knew about the rule of 72, if you already know about the rule of 72, let me know in the comments about the first time you learned about the rule of 72. And if this is your first time hearing about the rule of 72, let me know in the comments if you were as floored as I am when you learned about this. Until next time, let's make better sense together, everyone.